We are in the 207 kitchen at Maine studio with Cara Stadler. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for inviting me.
You're repping 3 restaurants right now. You got one in Brunswick, 2 in Portland.
Yes. I have Taoyuan in Brunswick, and then it's a modern Asian cuisine, small plates. We have Leo Restaurant in Portland, which is modern European cuisine with small plates, and then BaoBao Dumpling House, which is a fast casual Chinese dumpling house.
Leo's the newer one, right?
Yes.
For you?
Yes.
How long have you had that?
We're just under a year now.
Just under a year.
Yeah, it's sort of crazy.
Things fly by, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking seaweed because this is technically Maine Seaweed Week.
This is Maine Seaweed Week.
What does that mean for you guys as a restaurant?
Well, so it's our first year of doing Maine Seaweed Week. It's more to showcase all these incredible products that we have in the state. And what we are sort of repping is the fact that we are lucky enough to have the most farms, I think, in the state of Maine for seaweed farms that exist, and the fact that we have such easy access to an incredibly healthy, sustainable product that also creates jobs for the state.
What are you going to make for us right now?
So we're going to do 3 dishes. I'm going to do the first one, and then my pastry chef and my bar manager are going to join you later for some other ones. And the first one is going to be a Chawanmushi, which is a typical Japanese egg custard. So it's made with konbu, which is dried kelp. And then it has a little bonito, which is dried tuna that's salted. It's turned into a broth called dashi, and then we mix that broth with whole eggs, and we steam it in an egg cup, and then we serve that with little maple syrup, which is the main touch, and some togarashi, which is a Japanese 7-spice.
Okay. Where do we start here?
So let's start with, I've got 2 things going on here. I've got some just boiled water here, so we're going to start with that. You take the just boiled water that you have, and you're going to pour it over. There's 2 methods. A lot of people are firm believers of rinsing the kelp or the konbu before you steep it. If you want all the extra salt, and there might be some other impurities on that seaweed if you do not rinse it beforehand, but you can also leave it in, and that's where all that umami comes from. Also, what makes seaweed so amazing is that it is loaded with umami, which is that sort of sense that makes you just want to go back and eat that dish over and over and over again. And then we've got some tuna flakes, which we're going to throw in there too. And what you do is you start just like setting this aside. We're going to let it steep for 15 to 20 minutes, depending about, and then we're going to strain it out and add in mirin, sake, and soy.
Okay.
Mirin being a sweeter rice wine, sake being a slightly less sweeter version of another type of rice wine, and then soy sauce, your typical Asian condiment, which is fermented soybeans, and salt. So we're going to take all those things, steep them in, and then afterwards you mix those together with the dashi to create this sort of dark brown liquid, and then 3 whole eggs.
Okay.
So it's 2 cups of dashi to 3 eggs. And this is a fun little toy. It's called an egg topper.
I was going to say, that was pretty fancy.
Yes, that was pretty fast. So you put it on top of the egg, you pull this back and you snap it. It has a spring in it. It cracks the egg. It then creates this beautiful teeny little line on the top. And with your thumb on the top side, you can press in, crack it, and then it just pops right off.
Oh, wow.
And what it does is it gives you this really beautiful serving device, and it's basically a sustainable free dish.
There we go.
Yeah. So I already have, after you crack all your eggs and you set them aside, you set them and you wash them a little bit. There's an internal membrane you want to peel out. But instead of standing here with you for the next 15 minutes, slowly peeling these membranes, which is why you come to Tao and we do it for you, I have 3 ready to go. And so you take that dashi base, mix it with the whisked eggs, and what you're going to have is a sort of brown emulsified liquid left over. You take that liquid and you pour it into your egg cups about 3/4 high.
Okay.
So I'm going to slide this here. You don't want to fill it all the way because it's going to expand a teeny little bit, and you also want to leave space for your garnish. And then you want to make sure that they're all the same height so they cook evenly.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And how long do you steam these for?
So we'll put it in the steamer for about 5 to 7 minutes, and you're looking for it to be sort of just set in the center. The other thing that's really important with the eggs is that this steamer right now is very, very hot. You can see the steam is very aggressive. If anything, you want to turn your stove down to the lowest, sort of medium-low setting when you're steaming because it's a whole egg custard, that means the egg whites are in it, it's more likely to souffle on you. Which, with egg custard, we are not making a souffle. We want to sort of perfectly set, kind of like a creme brulee, that it's totally solid all the way through with no aerated bubbles in it.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're going to go on a low heat for 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
And then that's...
So you've got that, and then once that comes out, we have a final product here.
We do. And then once that comes out, you end up with this sort of perfectly set, just in the center custard.
That looks really incredible, too.
And it comes out warm, and then you just put a little dash of maple syrup on top. And a little sprinkle of togarashi. And this is the Japanese 7-spice.
Wow.
And that's it. And there's your little mid-course at Tao Restaurant, Tao Yuan Restaurant.
There it is. So
So.
check it out. You've got Tao Yuan, BaoBao Dumpling House in Portland,
Yeah.
and Leo,
And Leo.
also on Spring Street.
Yes.
Cara Stadler, thank you so much for coming in and talking with
Pleasure.
us. And check out Maine Seaweed Week. 60 different restaurants taking part
60
in
different
this.
restaurants, yeah.
But check out Leo. You can find the recipe for this in the 207 section of our website, and we will be right back.